What's up, NDL? We are on the eve of the start of season 35. Even though we're one game in, it's been feels like it's been a long time for some people waiting to get a game, and we are on the last season of college football 26. I'm excited. Others are excited. Hell, some people are just excited just to have a game to play because it's been so long since they played their last game. But we're going to talk some previews, and we got some other things to talk about as we head into the season. So we've got the three-man show here. First off, we've got Coach Doc. How are you doing tonight, sir?
I'm good. Yourself?
Good now. I got the giggles out. Uh, we're excited for the start of the season. Uh, also got Vic on here. Coach Vic, how are you doing tonight? Uh-oh.
I'm good. I'm
Oh,
good. I was just trying to copy paste the live chat. Sorry about that. I'm good. Season Eve, the tradition continues. The Outliers on the eve of the season. The tradition continues.
yeah. You gotta love the feeling that you have in the air right now. Every team from Georgia to Ohio State to Michigan State down in the G5 land. Every coach right now is optimistic or should be optimistic about what's going to happen this season. The hope is high for everyone. Despair hasn't set in yet, but we'll see how things play out. And I'm going to have to do my hardest to try not to laugh because I'm already starting to break. Man, you guys just don't know these Pre-show conversation today, hilarious. Post draft, extra hilarious. CG might be the MVP of the league, and no one even knows it yet. All right, focus. We got stuff to talk about. So, normally we like to talk about the top 25, but since we don't have any poll results just yet, can't really talk about it. But just a friendly reminder if you have not done your polls, they are due tonight. So, right after this is done, or while you're listening, if you're listening live, get on it and do it now. Do not lose out on free participation points. Definitely had quite a few conversations with people in the draft, and they were disappointed that they didn't pick as high as they thought they were. And they can point the finger right back at themselves because they missed out on doing polls and just freebie points. Get off to a good start. Get your participation points taken care of. The easy 40 out of 40. That said, we can start talking about some previews. So just kind of roll the dice to see the order that we would talk about, no particular order. I'm going to hand it off to one of you guys first. I need to mute my mic for a sec. Let's talk about the Mac. Whichever one of you wants to take it, B or B.
I could take it. Um, well, Chips obviously got to be the favorite in the MAC for sure. Um, it's there's without Chip like last year there was Andy, so you had somebody else in there that was I don't know a lot of the people in here. I know Wasik, Toro, Twista, football, Kelly. But that's all I know out of there. So I'm gonna have to go with Chip being the number one guy coming out of that conference for sure.
This is definitely the year of Chip right here. He's definitely gonna go undefeated. So in conference. So it's all about his out of conference schedule, and he does have another tough out of conference schedule that we'll dive a little deep into later on in the episode. But it it's slim pickings right now. Somebody's gonna break out. Now somebody's gonna break out. There's no disrespect to nobody in the conference. It's just nobody is proven yet. Nobody has just been totally proven or shown that they can get to the CFP with other teams yet, like Andy did last season. So it's someone's gonna break out, but it's definitely chips to lose for sure.
If you had to pick a team that would be the breakout, who would it be, Vic?
It would have to be football Kelly at Toledo. He's been at Toledo the last 2 seasons. He knows that team. He should, have it together scheme wise. Now, of course, you never know how you match up with other coaches and stuff like that. So that could cause problems or something like that. But somebody like football Kelly, who's been in the MAC with him this whole game cycle, should be a threat for sure in the MAC to challenge um Chip.
I would agree.
Okay,
I would
okay.
agree. Yeah, just with his tenure there and his ability to know his team, and I think that bodes well when a conference fills up with new guys.
That's the fact. That's the fact.
Well, I'm going to take it in a different direction. I think we're probably all going to be in agreement. I say all as in most of the NDL that this is Chip's conference to lose. 2 seasons in a row, he makes the conference championship game and heartbreaking losses at the end. Just this one probably hurts a little bit more because had he won the game, I'm feeling pretty confident that he would have been the pick to represent the G5 and the CFP. So to be that close to it and not get it, he's got to be motivated by that. So I strongly believe that Chip is going to win the MAC this year. But across from him, I think in the conference championship game, it's tough to pick, but I have what's the nuts? And he hasn't played for a bit. He joined us at the end of the NDL, so he was there for the last couple of seasons, and every season he put up 10 wins. So he comes back last season, takes over SMU, Rip Block M, and finishes 3-4. Not the finish that he's looking for, but now he gets to pick his team. He got to pick his situation, and I think that it'll be interesting to see what he does. He's probably the coach in the MAC that I'm most interested to watch. 4 seasons, 4 full seasons in the NDL, all of them 10-win seasons. Are we going to see that version of Twista, or is he different? Like some of us have been different because it's been so long since we played. I don't know what to expect from him. But if I had to pick someone else to compete for the championship with Chip, it would be him. That said, if there was a completely out there, like you got a bonus bet, since we were talking about that pre-show, you got a bonus bet, and you can throw it on someone to surprise and make the conference championship game. Who do you guys have?
I'll go first. I got Mr. Icy himself, Slush at Ohio.
All right, Doc, who you got?
Um, oof, it's a good one, but I'm gonna have to go with Chili Chill at Buffalo.
Okay, and we're all gonna have a different one. My sleeper would be Western Michigan, Sergeant Arby Sauce. Let's be honest, that's an amazing name. And
It's the greatest name ever.
we've had a lot of fun with that in the
Definitely a
introduction
great
section.
name. Definitely a great name.
So like, yeah, if it's a great name, we need a great product on the field too. So he's got a lot to live up to. I think they'll have a good season, and they would be that'd be the team I look at for an outside chance winning the MAC. But should be a good group of coaches. You got some vets, Toro, Wasik, got some new coaches, RB Sauce, BFA. So a nice mix, and we'll see what happens in the MAC. Should be a fun watch this season. Up next, we've got the Fun Belt. And we obviously, if we're going to talk the Sun Belt, we've got to start with James Madison and Coach Glizzy. 2 seasons where he felt that he was almost like he could just taste it. He was right there and was unable to win the conference. Third tie's the charm, right? So maybe this is a season that he gets it done. So you got some bets, a lot of bets actually, in the conference this season. You got Glizzy, you've got Jeff Daddy, fuck yeah. Got Oracle, you got MGR, you got Marine. AU Tiger. There, and then you've got some newer coaches. South GA Cracker, um, LSU Mavs fan is a newer coach, and then you have just flat out new coaches and Coach Jared and Coach Jack B. So with that said, who do you guys have in the conference championship game? If you had to pick, who do you have winning the East? Who do you have winning the West?
I'll take this one, Vic. Um, ooh, James Madison in the East, and I would probably go with Quest in the West at Arkansas State.
Okay, Doc dropping bars there.
Of course, I got to give my individual shout out. Shout out to Jeff Daddy and MGR at Marshall and Georgia Southern, and shout out to Big Brian and U.S. Marine at South Alabama and Southern Miss. I got James Madison and Glizzy against AU Tiger and Texas State.
Well, Lizzie, I want you to hear this, and no, it's nothing personal. If I had one other coach at Georgia Southern, I would 100% go for you. But I have to be loyal. Us Nebraska fans are loyal. We are loyal to each other. So MGR's gonna have a good season. I believe it. I'm manifesting it right now. I have
If I had
MGR
a
winning
dark,
the East.
if I had a dark horse pick though, and I'm pretty sure that probably was the next question.
Yep.
My dark horse pick would be MGR only because he told me, as I said in the draft, he actually told me he wanted that team. So the fact that he got the team he wanted, he knows something that we don't. So
Well, I played
I
him
got him as a
plenty of
dark horse.
times. I played him plenty of times with that team, and he's very good at it. And I would not be surprised if he wins the Sun Belt. It wouldn't surprise me one bit. But it goes back to, Glizzy knows that team, right? And it just, for me, it's about knowing that team and about playing it. And it's almost like MGR was made for Georgia Southern, but I still have to go with the guy that's been there, that knows his team. But again, no surprise if he wins it at all.
And I agree with you guys. It is 100% logical to go with James Madison and Glizzy. And outside of MGR, I 100% would do it, especially being that this is divisions in this conference as opposed to just whatever we have, just the big free for all and all these jumbo conferences. There's a division. So he's got to play every team in his division for multiple seasons. He knows what they look like. He knows what their strengths and weaknesses are. He knows how to go about attacking them. It's a huge advantage for him. He's already been super successful anyway. So it's, positive on top of positive. I'm just going with my heart here and saying that I'm going to manifest MGR having a conference championship run. So that's what I've got in the East. In the West, I think the West is a little bit tougher. There's an argument that can be made for a handful of teams. I think for me, it was going to come down. My dark horse would come from this division too. But when I really sat and thought about it, I'm going to take Southern Miss. I know the team won the conference championship last season. It is still a very talented team. I know Big Brian didn't have as successful as a season as he would have liked to have. So I'm pretty sure that he wanted to stay at Mizzou if I was reading that right. But unfortunately, he wasn't able to. And now, hey, let me kind of take a step back. I'm going to G5 and kind of build myself back up to getting back to the Power Four. And I think that he's got a good squad and he'll be very motivated to have a good season. If I had a dark horse, like I can't say, sleeper would be James Madison because obviously most people probably are favoring Glizzy to win the conference. My sleeper would be Troy and Oracle. think they've got a solid team. And I think that they're the big receivers that they have, big receivers. I think the first three are all at least 6'2". You got a couple of 6'4" and a 6'5", and you have a tight end that's 6'4" as well. So big body guys can't run man zone. They can box out the defender. It makes it really tough to defend them unless you can get around them. So I think if Troy can get the running game going with the play action, it's gonna be a tough offense to slow down. That covers the Sun Belt. We're going to take a quick pause and talk about the others because we don't want to forget about them. They don't have necessarily a home yet. At least two of them don't. UConn won't because they're going to stay independent. So you got UConn, and then you have the current version of the pack, which is 2, which will be changing to 8 on next year's game cycle, which is going to be really awesome. Washington State and Oregon State. So
Boo.
just kind.
My hate for Oregon State runs deep. No offense to the owner. He'll feel my pain here shortly.
Well,
We can tell.
Oregon State, Coach Dub, man, I feel sorry for Dub. And it's not for the reason you're thinking either, Doc. It's because I know that he's a Washington fan, and no, you're just waiting and watching, fingers crossed, and then boom, Washington gets picked, and it hurts. And then it's like, okay, always gotta have a backup plan. Like, was it before Seth Rollins? I think what Triple H was the one saying it first before Rollins went heel. You always have to have you always have a plan B, or always have a plan B.
I mean, that was the line that broke up the Shield right there.
Yep, that chair shot to the back of Roman. Felt so good to see that. Watch that on repeat for the rest of my life. Good moment though, and now Dub is going to have to take a step back. Now that you didn't get the team that you really wanted, now you have Oregon State. I'm not sure where they fell on the card for him, but the one thing I do think about Oregon State that's very cool is they have, just like UConn, a very open schedule. Like you play Washington State because they're in the quote unquote conference with you, but outside of that, you've got practically free reign minus Oregon to put a schedule together. And I just personally think that's a really cool thing to have because you get to make your own NDL experience, if you will, with the schedule.
Not gonna lie, the admins did a poor job because if we imitating life, they played twice. So we gotta put them on the schedule twice. I don't know what we doing. Gotta put them on the schedule twice.
Well, I'll ask you guys just a yes or no. You don't even have to give an explanation. Oregon State making a bowl this season. I say yes. What say you?
Now I'm gonna let Doc go last. I'm gonna let Doc go
No.
last because he got his own thing. I'm gonna let you go last. So I'm gonna say yes because I'm a big fan of Dub. That's my guy, and he's gonna get them together. They're gonna go 6-6 for sure, at least.
Doc?
I they could.
Sounds
Depends
like
on
a
what
no.
quarterback. So I'm going to say is that they could. It just all depends on what quarterback shows up. So, that is, I'm kind of bummed because I wanted to keep them, but I just couldn't. I couldn't play another season like that, and then their backup isn't very good. So, but they could. They could make the bowl, yes,
I
and
mean,
they could go anywhere between 7-5 and 1-9, or 1-11.
Whoa. Whoa.
So
1-9, and the program's getting axed.
yeah,
It's like
they, they
we're
just
not
they
even
just
letting
get
you
kicked
play the
out of the
last two.
NCAA.
Whoa. We went from they go. I'm thinking even to go the positive way. Yeah, they go 75-9-3, 75, 1-9.
1-9, and they get kicked out.
Damn.
They're like, you suck so bad, you don't get any more games.
Damn.
God, I can't stand that team.
Damn.
Well,
Anyway, I digress.
Tell us,
well, hey, I have a degree in
tell us your
psychology. The
true
therapy
thoughts.
is free.
Tell us your true thoughts.
Yeah, well,
It's okay. I am trained for therapy, so if you need me, Doc, I'm here for you. This is what our pre-pod. These are what our pre-pod meetings can turn into at times. Today was definitely one of them for a
yeah.
lot of reasons. Um,
It's bad because when you want to keep a team, but you just 90% of it was probably me anyway, but I'm just going to blame the team. You kind of get that frustration. So, yeah, that's probably what it's all about.
well,
But,
the good thing is you've been able to remove yourself from the situation, so you can go back to enjoying. Like that's why you're in the Mountain West rehab program.
yeah, that's exactly.
You are. How's rehab going? How's it going?
Didn't go very well today. I need to go back to a couple meetings
Well,
after my destroying from Nebraska.
Yeah.
He drugged me up and down the field a couple times, but
go Huskers. Sorry, I know you're my pod mate, but Nebraska overall. I'm sorry.
you know what? I love the running back. I think that he's going to give some teams in the Mountain West some fits, especially the teams that are a little bit lower on the tackling scale. So I'm excited for. I think I can win 2 games. So that's what my goal is, just to win 2.
We're gonna get
Be
back to that.
happy.
No, we're getting
Yeah.
back to that in a couple minutes here. Let's talk about UConn and Dave. So remember 2 seasons ago, Dave had a really big game against NC State. And we were having the conversation. Remember this before you, Doc. Me and Vic were having a conversation of if he could pull off the upset against NC State, would that potentially at least get some whispers or some eyes on them in, a CFP spot in the G5? That did not happen. He wasn't able to win that game. And man, the bowl game was rough as well. And then last season, a little bit of a step back for Dave, but it's the final season of the game. We know that Dave loves to run the ball. He's always had a good rushing attack. So my question to you guys will be the same. A bowl game, yes or no for UConn? Actually, I think we all can probably say yes. What is your win total for UConn? And Vic, I'll give it to you first. Or not. Doc, you want to go?
I'll go. Well, we know he's going to have 1 win because he plays me, and I don't beat him very often at all. So I'll go ahead and give him that win. I'm just pulling up his schedule here real quick. Let's see. He's got some tough games on his schedule. Well, so he starts out with New Mexico at home, NC State at home, Cincy at home, Georgia Southern at home, UMass at home, Utah. I could see him winning 9, maybe 11 games on this with this schedule.
Okay. His projected win goal is 9. I'm
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm feeling confident that he for sure gets to 8. My thing is Cincinnati and NC State. I think he's going to have to win one of those games to get the 9. It's good for him that both are at home, doesn't have to deal with HFA. Um, I do think though that ultimately at the end he at least gets to 9-3. Think he might have to sweat out Cincinnati or NC State, one of those. I think he needs to win one of them for sure to get there, but I think he'll get to 9 wins.
Can you guys hear me now? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. My Wi-Fi was tripping. It is definitely tripping. I was talking and then I didn't know y'all couldn't hear me, but my Wi-Fi is definitely tripping. But I was saying that he's gonna go 9-3 again this season. I was trying to pull up the schedule and then everything went to shit because of the internet and all that good jazz. But a little inside knowledge that we couldn't share on the pod then that we can now. Uh, he absolutely going back to that NC State game. He absolutely had a chance at the CFP if he won that game. He absolutely did, but he did not, and the rest is history there. But he's gonna go 9-3. He could possibly go 10-2, but I see a realistic 9-3 in his future.
Yeah, since we've been back, I I'm probably gonna need no, I'm pretty sure that he didn't have UConn that first season. Because I know he did for sure the last two seasons, just not reflected right on the his coach profile. But I can't remember if he had Southern Miss then went to UConn or if I feel like he had Southern Miss. I just can't 100% remember. But for the most part, I wanted to pull it up to say that the worst he's done with UConn is 8-4. Like if that's your baseline, I'd say that that is pretty freaking good. No, he's plus 90 in the win column overall. So I mean, Dave has had a really successful run with UConn. I expect him to continue, and they're going to be a tough team to do battle against for sure. And then we have
He
the
did
other.
have.
Oh,
Oh,
go
sorry,
ahead.
Sammy. He
No,
did have Southern Miss.
okay.
Yeah.
Just wanted to make sure. All right. And then the last one, Washington State. And this is an interesting one because there's been some talks over the last couple of, or the last season, the live chat, about some people maybe feeling that Washington State shouldn't have been ranked as high as they were. Washington State has been able to consistently put out good seasons. We know they're kind of in the same boat with UConn and Oregon State with some locked in games, but for the most part, a lot of flexibility with the schedule. So there's been some talks during the offseason, especially when the schedule was looked at, about him going 12-0. Do you guys see Washington State getting to 12-0 this season?
What's the schedule? Because I can't pull it up right now.
I'll pull it up. Uh, Give me 1 second.
I
The
mean,
website's
I mean,
spinning slow.
I mean, my Wi-Fi just died on me.
So I got it for you. So you've got at Fresno, at New Mexico, at Hawaii. Then you've got the Apple Cup versus Washington, versus Wyoming, versus Marshall, at North Carolina, versus UNLV, at Nevada, versus Iowa State, at Eastern Michigan, and the finale versus Oregon State. The
Oh,
win
that's a win.
goal is 5. Oregon State just catching shade left and right. The win goal is at 5. Um, but looking at the schedule as a whole, do you think there's a chance that he gets to 12-0?
On paper, it looks like a 12-0 schedule, but okay. See, this all right. Oh no, I'm not gonna say that. It looks like 12-0 on paper, but it's all about the Apple Cup. If he can't beat Duvid in the Apple Cup, then of course he won't go 12-0. But it's a very winnable schedule, very light schedule. But I can understand him because of his rating as a team, the rating as a team. I think it's like a 76, 77, something like that. Um, but very light schedule. I can see 11-1. Very possible 11-1.
Okay. Doc, what do you say?
No, I see three losses, and this is just me seeing three losses. Um, I think he'd have a hard time beating Washington. Um, I North Carolina is going to be tough, and Hawaii, they're a tough out against anybody. Like Lewis is a tough out, and that game's probably going to have
He is a tough
140
out.
points
Right.
on it. So I see three losses. That's where I'm at.
He is a tough out. You right about that. He is a tough
So,
out.
and if there isn't over 110 points put up in that game, that would be, I'd find that hard to believe.
Well, I think I I see 10 for sure. The two game, well, I don't want to say for sure, like they're given, but I think if I were picking, I for sure have him in 10 that I pick him to win. The two games that kind of give me some cause to pause here. One is definitely the Apple Cup. One is a rivalry game. He is at home, but I know that Tim has mentioned in the past that they just don't have the speed to match up with Washington. And then you're getting a coach in Duvid who loves to pass the ball. So that's going to make things a little bit more difficult. But on the same hand, when you pass the ball a lot, you're more prone to throw interceptions, and we know how it is in the NDL. Interceptions come in bunches. So all it takes is just a couple of them, and then you start to get gun shy, or you just go Brett Favre and say, whatever, I'll throw two more if I can get a couple more touchdowns. So the question will be, can Washington State force turnover? The other game, which I think is a really sneaky game that not a lot of people will talk about now, but I think eyes will be on it at the end of the season, is Week 12 versus Iowa State. Big Buckeye has some had a good season in the AAC last season. Remember, it was a three-team tiebreak, and they were left out, but did pull an upset at USF. One of the better
Oh, that's
defensive
true.
coaches in the league. So I know Iowa State does not have a ton of speed. Penguin has been on the record, both in DMs, talking about it when we played Florida State, Iowa State, and just in general, like the upgrade from going to Iowa State to LSU is like, wow, like it's like you're having one of those beater cars, and then you're just getting a Maserati for your next car. It's such a huge upgrade. Iowa State is going to cause some defensive problems for Washington State. And I'm really interested. That's the game that I have circled on the schedule that I'm most interested to see. If it's a defensive game, I'm not sure how Tim will be in that situation because most of the games that he has, at some point, you get that run of points where points just get run off the board. What happens when you're forced to play a defensive game? If Big Buckeye is able to slow the game down and make that happen, I'm really curious to see what the response is going to be from the Cougars. Now, Doc.
I'm gonna just say the elephant in the room. I started to say it at first. You gotta stop scheduling. So like, stop stop with the light schedule. If you wanna hype up your team, and that's fine. I love that. Hype up your team. Say you can go 12-0, have the little chatter, but you can't have a schedule like that. You can't.
Oh, it starts with Washington. We'll have to see what kind of season Washington has. That could be one of the sleeper teams in the Big Ten. Oh, we'll see how things play out, but it'll be, as always, is interesting to see what's going on with the Cougs. And now, Doc, we're putting you back in the spotlight. The
All
best
right.
commercial, in my opinion, because there was a lot of great commercials during the draft. The best commercial was, for me, the Mountain West Rehab commercial. Classic, classic, classic. It will live the test of time in the NDL. And the Mountain West has got some new faces in there. So you've got some mainstays. You've got IROC, who's back at Boise. You have Black Rain, who's back at UNLV. Buckeye, back with Utah State. Mark, back with Wyoming. San Diego State, Big Z. Ain't rejoining the conference. You got Texas fan coming over. Doc, you got Colorado State. A lot of vets, as a matter of fact, all vets in this conference. So the Mountain West is kind of going back to its roots since we've really had this game, this game cycle, last game cycle. The Mountain West just seems to be where vets tend to gravitate to. So, with that said, who do you guys predict will be in the Mountain West Championship game? Who was your sleeper? Doc, I'm starting with you because I need to know if you're getting 2 wins. I need you on record for who those 2 wins are going to be. Putting you on the spot.
Okay. Well,
Wow.
I don't know. I just know they're out there somewhere. Well, so I've had a good track of beating Lewis lately. I beat him last year with Oregon State, and he had UCLA. But I'm not going to beat Hawaii this year. I know that. So I'm going to have to. My mission is to beat Mark and to beat him bad after the way he beat me last year. So I'm gunning for the 35-point roll in that game, and I probably won't even
Oh
score 35
man.
points, but I am because of the way he beat me last year. So, Mark, if you're listening, I'm coming for you. So that game, and then I don't know. I think I can just muscle one out somewhere else, but that's the one game I'm pushing for sure.
That was you with the hell
It
Wyoming
was.
pick,
Yes,
wasn't
that
it?
was.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Sure, Vic. Kick a man while he's down.
I didn't
Appreciate
realize
that.
it was you.
Thank you.
I didn't realize. I
Thank you.
never realized. I
And this is
never
why
realized.
he's in Mountain West rehab. This was during, when you see a therapist and they get, I forget what it's called, but they kind of get an idea of why you're there, and then they just like kind of probe gently, just kind of see like what you're willing to give up information wise. And Doc just straight like immediately, name, I'm Doctor whatever, and he just immediately jumped in. It's like, yeah, that damn hell Wyoming just messed my season up from the very beginning. Yeah, that
Dang.
was volunteered
I
very quickly.
realized that was you. On the other side of that, I've never realized that was you.
That was
Oh,
me. That was on me.
Well, then
man.
let me ask you this, Doc. We'll we'll end the session on a positive. Who do you see in the Mountain West Conference Championship game?
I see Boise State in Hawaii. That's who
Okay.
I see.
If there was a sleeper, who's your sleeper pick?
San Jose State.
Mr. Jokers. Which, by the way, Jokers, awesome job, BB&B yesterday.
Oh yeah, that was a
And
great
I
show.
I love the board back there. just, just putting stuff on the whiteboard on the back. That's great stuff. Oh man, putting Candace on there, 13-0, but then still missing the CFP. Uh, oh boy. All right, Vic. We're gonna gently let Doc out the seat and out
Let me
the
go back to my
chair.
room now. Wallow in my sorrows.
While he's second guessing life, we're gonna give him a break here. Take him out the spotlight. Take him off the couch. Vic, come join my couch in the Mountain West rehab. I know you were a member before, and you
Yes.
successfully graduated. So now looking
Yes.
back, who do you have in the Mountain West Conference Championship game? And if there was a sleeper in the conference, who do you have?
Well, first I want to say Doc could get 3 wins in conference, but I'm not gonna say the coaches. Nope, not gonna give
Why?
him any.
Let's hear him.
Well, hell no,
Let's
hell
hear
no,
him.
hell no. They not gonna have motivation against you. No, no, no.
Is Wyoming one of them? I hope so.
You know we gonna leave that. We gonna leave that. We gonna
Because
leave
that's my
that
only
be.
goal this year.
We gonna leave
That and a
that
random
be.
win.
Okay, we going to leave that be. All right. Uh,
I would
who
say I'm
I got?
shooting to give 6 a beating, but he's got Michigan, so I can't do that.
Mm,
All right. All right.
we know you heard that six.
Well, all right. We are leaving that be.
Six is like, oh,
But who
writing
who
that
I
down.
see who I see in the Mountain West title game, I see Boise State and San Jose State. Only because I do have high belief in jokers. And it was one of those things, like I said earlier, he picked them for a reason. He knows something we don't, or unless he just wants to have fun with that. But I definitely see San Jose State and Boise State. I feel like it always comes down to a tiebreaker. So San Jose State is going to win off a tiebreaker because it always is a tiebreaker. Um, no surprise, sleeper team will be San Diego State. They're not a sleeper though. So if I had to go deep into the sleeper bag, I'm going to go with. I'm going to go with Doc. I'm going to go with Doc if I had to go deep into the bag. I'm going to go with Doc as a sleeper.
Doc, how do you feel about that? Doc has no response.
He is loving life on the other end of that.
You may have gone into a couch into the next room, immediately back into a therapy session. Oh my God, six. Oh, that's brutal. I don't want to read that on air. So we're gonna just skip to me, and I've got Boise in there. It's hard not to. I believe Boise has been in the conference championship game 4 seasons in a row, and maybe five.
Yeah, yeah.
I know he
I think
lost last season to Fresno
it's
in
it's
Cuddy.
been. I believe it's been every season. I think it's been the last
Actually, it's
four.
been all of
32.
them now that I think about it,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
holy crap, because yeah,
yeah.
Genty
31.
against
Yeah,
Jason. So yeah, that
yeah.
was a fun
And
conversation with Jason. Jason's like, this Ashton Genty guy, why? Like, this is ridiculous. I always love like when people are, playing the game against, we're playing against Genty or Moffa, those just ridiculous running backs, and just like
oh my
literally
god.
typing out their frustration as they're facing him. I mean, no Genty now, but IROC knows his team very well. He's, got one of the most talented teams in the conference, so it'd be hard not to have him at least in the final two since he's been there every season. For pick number two, I'm gonna have to go with Jokers in San Jose State. I'm really curious to see what that offense looks like in terms of a finished product out on the field, because we've seen what he's done in the past. His offense is extremely fun to watch. I enjoyed watching. I got to watch a good chunk of his games when he was in Memphis the last couple of seasons. It was really entertaining. So I actually am looking forward to that for a championship game, because I think it's a really big clash of styles. One wants to run the ball, even on 3rd and 12, is trying to find a way to get 13 yards running the ball, versus Jokers, he can run the ball, but he would love the pass ball. If we're gonna go with a sleeper, obviously I would love to take San Diego State, the fellow alum with Big Z, but I can't because they're not really a sleeper. I think they will be in the mix and in the running. My sleeper pick is going to be Outlaw with New Mexico. No, he's had a rough couple of seasons, but that New Mexico team, I think that's one of those teams that could be parlayed into a really nice draft pick. And just with having not having to worry about any expectations whatsoever. dropping back into the G5 after a couple of frustrating seasons in the Big Ten. I think this is a good opportunity for him to, kind of get his mojo back going into the next game cycle and maybe turn it into a really good pick. So that would be my sleeper pick for the Mountain West. Next up, we got Conference USA, one I'm very familiar with. Uh, Definitely a massive change in this conference. Remember last season, everyone left and entered a draft. The season before, everyone left and entered a draft. And what do we get as one of the coaches here? We get a multi-time CFP player in MJ Kemp. We all know why he was drafting where he was, so we won't. I'm sure that's been beat to death. That horse deserves respect at this point. So we'll leave that alone. But there are some other vets in this conference too. You've got Old School, you got Dak, K Dog, welcome back to the league. Happy to see him back. Ryan Collins, someone that can put up some points. Drewski, Adelopes. Adelopes is one of my favorite guys to play. I think we played a couple of times G5 wise on last game cycle, and they're really fun games. Bare ass. And then you've got Irish, new, lone, not new, but still, not like a vet just yet. He's getting there. So in Conference USA, I'm just gonna say I don't even think it's gonna be a surprise to anyone. We've all have MJ Kemp in the conference championship game. So the question is, give me two other players that you think can make the conference championship game to play. Doc, we'll start with you.
Um, I like Florida International, obviously, and I'm gonna have to go with Liberty is the other one, and then my sleeper would be Western Kentucky.
Okay, Vic.
I got FIU versus Western Kentucky in the conference title game, and I got I got Dak and Irish as sleepers.
Okay. I'm also gonna go with Western Kentucky and as the opponent for MJ in the conference championship game. I just had them, so I know what they have. I know what they just had upgraded. I think that they've got a very explosive offense. The question will be, can the run game get going to actually slow the game down some to help out the defense? But I think they'll definitely be able to put up points and put the pressure on other teams in the conference. My sleeper pick is going to be Jacksonville State and Drewski. Vic, you said it before I could even say it pre-meeting. Cook is a very dangerous player. I got to play against him, and let me tell you, Cook is not Genty-like or Maffa-like, but he's still very difficult. And he definitely had me frustrated quite a few times in that game because we couldn't get him down. So it's not just him getting going, it's being able to use that as a decoy to get the passing game going. If Drewski's able to pass the ball, I think that they'll have a good season. They could be in that second spot in Conference USA. And then lastly, we've got the AAC, the American. This has been a fun
This is
conference.
this is the one right here. This is the one.
Yep, it's been a fun conference the last handful of seasons because we've had some really good coaches. Pat's been in the American, Jokers, Jordan, just had Pirate in there with Hughes, both had really good seasons. So there's definitely been some really top end coaches that have made their way through the American. So you could almost look at it as if you're a newer coach going through there, is preparing you to move up into the G4 or P4, sorry, G4. So we've got some new faces here that are a little bit surprising. We've got El Jefe at South Florida. So, maybe we haven't heard yet, but maybe, just maybe, he might have made a school decision. We don't know. I have one of my favorite coaches in the league, the Catman, Big Mike. Unfortunate ending with Indiana, but finding his way to UTSA. You've got Sergeant Zoot at Tulane. You've got Hubbard, at Temple, Randog, Drew Baca. Awesome job last night, sir, with the hot route. He's staying at North Texas. And then we've got some newer new coaches. You got Zay, you've got Bond, such an awesome name as a 007 fan. And then still, you've got some older vets to go with Mike and Big Rye and Hager. So I'm going to be a little more specific with this one. Who do you have winning the conference championship game? Give me your two picks and your sleeper pick.
In the conference championship game, I got USF and UTSA. And then my sleeper is Memphis.
I got the same two. I got the same two. UTSA and USF, and I got Tulane home state team. Sergeant Zoot, the coach. I got them as a sleeper. Shout out to Hubbard and Drew Baca as well.
I feel like you guys dodged the question. We got the conference championship game, but who do you have winning the conference championship game?
I have USF and UTSA.
But who's winning?
Can there be a tie?
For
There
real, for
cannot
real,
be.
for real.
Um, man,
I'm gonna go with USF because their quarterback is just so dynamic. That's
I
the
agree.
difference. That's the
I agree.
difference. Who you got, Sammy? It's your turn now. Come on, come on.
Well, we all have the same conference championship game. I knew we would. That's why I wanted to ask who you would have winning, just because maybe we get some variety there. I'm an old head in the NDL. I like El Jefe. Me and him have had funny interactions, both in the live chat and in DMs. Um, Looking forward to playing some MLB The Show with him pretty soon. But I, as a longtime
Yes,
vet,
sir.
I have to hold with the old guard, and I really do believe that Mike is going to have a bounce back season. And I think part of his revenge tour is going to be winning the conference. So I have UTSA winning the conference championship.
I feel I feel like we all sensed that when he picked that because we was there when he picked, and we was all like, all right, that's interesting. And then it was just like, oh, he got something cooking. He got something cooking that we don't know about, and I think we all can sense that he's definitely on a revenge tour this season.
Yeah, and what's funny is, so he picked right behind me, and like Tulane was still there. Like there was a lot of good schools left. And before I picked, I said, who are you picking? And with all these teams, and he said UTSA. I knew this. I knew this a couple weeks ago. I was like, okay. So he knew, and I don't. I don't. Again, I don't think USF. Like I go with USF for the exact same reason Vic said is because of that quarterback. That quarterback is a difference maker, and I think in the right hands, that quarterback. It doesn't. You know, I I don't doubt Big Mike's ability to A, win the conference, or B, win that game. I just right now, I got to go with the quarterback.
That's fair. I think for me, my biggest question about USF, as someone that's had to suffer the pain for multiple seasons of El Jefe's rushing attack, and I got the Phil Maffa experience. He ran for, man, he ran for, I want to say 241 against me, but it was still a one score game. Like I just was like, I was just trying to wear him down. So in the fourth quarter, he couldn't be as effective. I'm really curious. I didn't get to see a lot of El Jefe when he was Temple, so I don't know what his offense looks like without an elite running back or a dominant running back. Because
I
even the
mean,
running backs he has
the
now,
running backs, the running backs in the room at USF are due for a G5 type of situation, which he's in. Isaac and I'm losing the other running back's name, but they're highly rated. And to go and to pair them up with Byron Brown, the quarterback, he has enough in the running game. He definitely has enough.
I think he will. My concern is when you get to the conference championship game, and this has been the one negative for El Jefe, when he gets to the CFP and the ground game gets taken away, can he make it happen in the passing game? And so far, the answer has been no. Mike is a longtime vet, and I know he may not be what he was before the NDL left, but this is still a what, three-time champ, two-time cup champ. He's played in a ton of big games. Nothing like I know what I'm going to get out of Mike, regardless of the situation. El Jefe is, with all due respect, I love me some Peyton Manning. That is my personal favorite quarterback of all time. But Peyton Manning pre Super Bowl is kind of how the lens I'm looking through El Jefe right now. Man, Peyton had amazing regular season, but when the spotlight was shined right on him, for whatever reason, he wasn't able to get the job done. So I'm curious to see with a big time coach like Mike, if he gets in that situation, if he'll be able to buck the trend. So I hope we get that for a conference championship game because I would love to see if that's if that's going to be the case. That said, I still need to answer the other part, the sleeper. So if I'm going to pick a sleeper team out here, and I love the Tulane pick. I really do because I was so happy to see Jake fall. Man, Zeus getting an upgrade at quarterback. No offense to Bryce, but night and day difference throwing the ball with those guys. I think that my sleeper pick in this conference is going to be Temple. Rough season with Iowa. That seems to be a theme outside of Wild, so I'm not going to hold it against Hubbard for struggling with that team. A lot of people have. I think this is going to be a bounce back season for him, and if either Hefe or Mike slip up, I think Hubbard could sneak into one of those spots in the conference championship game. Now, we've covered all the conferences, so now we got to ask the serious question. Doc, I'm coming to you first. Of all the teams, which team today would you put your money on to get that G5 playoff spot? And then the second question is, it doesn't necessarily have to be, having a 10-2 or 12-0 season, but which team do you think will be the most surprising team in the G5 this season?
I guess you got to think on that.
All right, Vic, well, hand it to you.
Um, I think it's either out of two teams for the to be the outlier. Um, that is FIU and Central Michigan. If I want to be honest with you, I believe USF has too much of a daunting schedule to make the CFP. Now, if he gets out of that schedule and goes 12-1 or 13-0, then he may get a bye because that schedule is rough, especially the first beginning. That schedule is definitely rough. But I see it being either Central Michigan or FIU. Central Michigan has a tough out of conference schedule too, but I can still see them making it. But FIU, of course, with this, CUSA and how MJ Kemp has been rolling, I do see them challenging for the CFP as well. And the G5 that I feel like is going to make the most surprising or going to be the most surprising team, I feel like it's going to be MGR out of the Fun Belt with Georgia Southern.
Okay. Well, I'm going to add some context to what you said, so I'm going to bring that into light a little bit. You talking about South Florida's schedule and how it's daunting? Yeah. The beginning of the season, their out of conference games, just so everyone's aware. At home against Georgia and Coach Tutty, on the road against Penn State, Coach Andy, on the road against James Madison and Glizzy, and at home against Jumper and Old Miss. So you're talking about three high level P4 teams. And James Madison was just in the conference championship last season. So that is a tough start to the season for sure. While still having to play a tough Memphis team, you're going to have to play UTSA during the season. They, get the run back in the conference championship game. So, yeah, if you run the gauntlet or at least, come out of it looking, the first two blocks looking good, man, you got to feel good about El Jefe for sure. FIU for transparency, you've got at Cal, at home against Rice in block one. And then later on in the season, you've got at Central Michigan. So playing Chip in the fourth block. Interesting that it's in the middle of the season because
That's
obviously we don't
a
have that too
de
much.
fact. That's kind of like a de facto first round game right there, or de facto playing game right there late in the season.
It could be a play in or play out game, eliminating a
Yeah,
team from contention right there. Oh, those are definitely going to be some fun matchups. Doc, I see you're
All
back.
right. Yeah, I just have a quick question.
Gotcha.
So you have a team that plays Georgia, Penn State, and Ole Miss, right? They go 9-3 with that schedule, and they win their conference championship. Do they
no,
not make it?
no, no, no,
Six is
no,
already, I know six
no,
isn't even in, like, six is in the chat. I
no.
know he's got to be like,
I know he's
no.
fuming. I know he's
With
fuming.
with 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 my with my with my experience on the committee and with us being on the two members of the committee
Yep,
last season, we both know that's a no.
I know, but there like teams with 3 wins, there or 3 losses. There's considering based upon the schedule, right?
But
So
we had to argue for an hour for Arkansas too, if you remember that.
yeah, no, and I get that, but we don't have like there's a G5 school that has a strong schedule.
But
Now, if
there's strong schedule. But what games are they winning though? Like
sure, I mean, well, they're winning the ACC. Like, I mean, I get
no,
that, and
no,
I'm
no,
I'm
no.
not.
I'm saying, but no, what I'm saying is, out of those 9 wins, what games are they winning? Like that'll be the determining factor. Like, do they win at Penn State and then Penn State doesn't lose another game? Do they win against Georgia and um Ole Miss and both of those schools go 10-2? Like it's a lot of factors that goes into that. It's who he wins against, but then that would hurt him if he won. If those were his 3 losses, then it would prove that, oh yeah, you're a G5, but you're not on that level. But then
Well,
if
all
he
that would
win,
prove is you're G5 if you get blown out. What if those games are close?
he's still lost though. He's still lost though. So that's the thing. You still prove it as a G5 because you still lost. Close loss or not, that's 3 losses. Like it's one thing to have a close loss and it's one loss throughout the whole season. But if it's all three and it's close losses, then that just means that that team is not on the level of a CFP team. And
But is that
if
better than an undefeated FIU team who didn't play a tough schedule, or a,
I mean they
a
play a bona
what's that?
Vic's Wi-Fi might have died on him again.
Yeah,
The
I didn't hear
CF.
what he said before he cut out. But I
It's
mean, that's just my point. Like, if you have a team that has three losses to three major
I,
schools,
sorry about that.
oh no, that's all right.
I hate when people call right when you making a point. Um I hate that shit. But what I was saying was, yeah, if it's close losses, yeah, but it's still three close losses. But FIU has a bona fide play in, play out game with Central Michigan. Like they do have that in their back pocket because you probably can't get no bigger G5 matchup than Chip versus MJ Kemp with both of their teams being undefeated in that's the last block, Sammy? Is that the last block?
fourth block. Those are
Fourth block.
smack dab in the middle.
In the four, so smack dab in the middle in the fourth block with the conference schedule going, it doesn't get any bigger G5 versus G5 than that. Like
Sure,
and so if he wins that, if MJ Kemp wins that to go along with he does have a power four team in Cal on the schedule as well. So if he wins both of those and USF loses all three of their chances against the power four, then I mean that's the difference.
sure. I mean, I get it.
It'll be even worse if he goes 9-3 and he wins one or two of those games because then he loses conference games.
Yeah, I think the thing I hear you, Doc. I think the thing that what I gathered out of it is if he were to go not, let's say he goes 10-3, he wins the conference championship game, but he
Yep,
loses to all three of those teams, right? Losing to all three of them, I think the way I view it as you had an opportunity to show that you belong, and in all three tests you failed. Versus
Yeah, exactly.
if you have Florida International who were to run the table, like if he were to beat Chip and then run the table, he hasn't had that opportunity to show fully to the level, that you're playing a CFP potential team that you belong. So he's earned the right to have that opportunity. Whereas
yep,
South Florida has scheduled to show that they know to try to show to the committee that they belong. But then if you lose all of them, I think it makes it hard to argue in favor of them for other teams that played well and may have played well enough to say, hey, we deserve an opportunity to be on that field and show that we belong. This team
Plus,
already has and lost all of those games. Even if they're close, they still lost them.
plus, you and I both know we not gonna have
you're not
eight
gonna have a team
nine
with three
people
wins. I
agree.
know that, but
Yeah,
I'm saying like
they're not gonna agree with that.
there was such a push for a three loss team last year that that's why I brought it up.
But the difference was that was a power four, and it
Power
was a
five,
lot of
power four, yeah,
yeah,
I get that
it
too.
was a lot of different dynamics in that too. Like it was different dynamics in that, and if as as we all know, being in that committee room, if and shout out to him, he's not in the league this season, but or doesn't have a team right now this season. But if Metro doesn't have a sim loss, then there would be no three loss or four loss team. It wouldn't be. We all knew that, but it ended up happening. Like unfortunate circumstances happen. But do I see a 3-loss G5 team, no matter how brutal the schedule was? And they lost the three brutal games, like the three toughest games they had, they lost all three and then ran the table. I just don't see it. I just don't see it.
Yeah.
Now,
Well,
if he went 11-1, I'm considering him as a buy, or God forbid he wins every game, he should have a buy. I'm for that. Like I'm for that. If he goes 12-0 with that schedule, he automatically deserves a bye. I will fight to the death on that because you can't get no better 3 wins than those three coaches and those three teams.
oh,
Yeah.
we'll definitely have to.
You telling me as a G5 you beat two SEC teams and you beat a Big Ten team? Man, that deserves a bye alone.
That I wouldn't disagree with.
All right. Well, uh, this has been one that I've struggled with the G5 because I feel like we're looking at four, and then the question is there an outsider's chance for someone else? And when I say the four, I think we probably all know who I'm talking about. I'll just say it for those of you listening out there. Chip, no particular order. Chip, Kemp, Hefe, Mike. I think if I were to be a betting man, I'm gonna bet on Florida International. Good enough schedule, and that game against Chip will be really important. Cal too, not just because you have to beat Cal, but you need to have faith that Chop and Cal would have a good season after that. So they'd have to do well in the ACC. So it's two parts with that. But if I was to pick a team, I would pick Florida International. And looking at a team that I think will be a surprise in the G5, that one is a little bit tougher. I'm going to go with Marshall. Jeff was when you the difference between Jeff during basketball season and Jeff outside of basketball season is very, very different. So as you start to get, Jeff starts to get time in the game, I think is noticeable in his play. And I think he's going to end up with a really good season. I don't have a number on that, but I think in terms of play, it'll be noticeable this season. So that would be my surprise pick. So I think we kind of touched on the big G5 with the high level coaches because that's where a lot of the discussion is obviously going to be with, Tim, Mike, and El Jefe joining the G5. But I have to ask you guys, we haven't talked a lot of draft. Obviously, we were on the coverage for day two of the draft, and I'm kind of surprised the first G5 team taken was not Hawaii. It's actually San Jose State. And as a matter of fact, four teams in the G5 got picked in the top 25. And then over the next 25 picks, it was just one, and that one was Hawaii. Now I can attest, Doc said something to me off camera, and I had to go test it for myself. And it is definitely different. I'm a right-handed guy. I can do some stuff I golf, I play hockey left-handed, I bat left-handed. Left-handed quarterback is definitely different. And I wasn't expecting it to be that big of a difference. I was kind of like, I hear you guys, but no, I think it'll be fine. But then I started playing with a left-handed quarterback, and it definitely was a little bit of a different feel. So I'm just curious, given that the four teams, you had altogether five teams taken in the top 50, Hawaii was the last one. How do you feel about the G5 in terms of the top 50? Surprised, not surprised by Hawaii, or were you more surprised by some of the other teams that were picked that high? And whoever wants to go for that, you're more than welcome to take the mic.
I was surprised at the San Jose State pick. I truly didn't know that Jokers was gonna go that route.
That was
I
surprising to
was
me too. What about you, Doc?
I was surprised more about the USF pick than I was the San Jose pick. But very surprised about the San Jose pick. I was surprised Hawaii went 40th. I was surprised that they went after Fresno, after San Jose State. Like I was surprised. But it takes somebody with some patience. Like for me, I don't know. Some people can do it, but I can't play with a left-handed quarterback. Flipping plays all day long to make sense in my head just doesn't work for me.
Oh my
But
God. You nailed it. Nail on the head. Shout out to
so
Weasel. Shout out to Weasel. You got a quarterback room full of lefties.
yeah, so
Well,
South Florida was my surprise.
at some point, I'll just outright ask him. I haven't bothered him that much, honestly, because I'll be honest, I didn't want him to try to challenge me to an MLB game. I haven't played MLB for a bit. I'm not trying to have LFA mercy me right before the new game comes out. Need to keep the confidence high. But I would like to ask him, because I know for those of you that don't know, during the off season, there was one day in the live chat he was asking about, just some insight from us older guys, since we're all old enough to be his dad, most of us, not you, Vic, but the rest of us. Most of us are old enough to be his dad, if not older than his actual dad. So he asked for some insight in terms of college, just like kind of this is what I'm thinking. What do you guys think and why? Just getting some input. And one of the schools that he was considering going to was South Florida and also doing summer school. So I'm not sure if summer school would be, online, if you'd actually have to go down to the campus. So I'm wondering if 'cause I did not get a chance to see if I don't think he made a decision. If he did, I didn't catch it, but maybe South Florida is the school that he's going to attend. So I could understand why, because while I was a student at SDSU, I would have considered taking him just 'cause I thought it would be cool to play as a team. The guys that I'm watching walk around campus and watching at practice, it'd be cool to get to play as them. Not sure. Not sure. So I like an answer to that because I think that could be what you're getting at, Doc. That could be the reason why they went so high. But the Hawaii
Yeah,
pick was like Hawaii dropping down to 40 was really surprising to me because with all that explosiveness on offense, and not just that the offense is explosive, but you're in a conference that's not really known for speed. So it stands out. I felt like that. If you're a guy who's either offensively challenged and needs a boost, that's what's cool to go to because they could help boost your offensive output. Or if you're an offensive guy and you're looking for a good situation to go to, I also think that that's a good fit for you too because you already know what you will like. You have a scheme, you have a plan in mind for what you like to do on offense, and you can just, the pieces seem to fit. You have a fast running back, multiple, you know, fast receivers out there. Do you want to just go too wide? You have a tight end that you can do some work with as well. Like you have a lot of flexibility with that roster. I was just surprised to see them drop so low, especially watching some of the guys that are known for their offense. I guess some probably were looking to make the jump to the power four, but I didn't think that they would drop that far down. And just for reference, those other teams, you had El Jefe taking South Florida at 16, Jokers taking San Jose State at 18, and Fresno State going at 22 to Priest. So those were the other teams that were taken in the top 25 G5 wise. So a little bit of a surprise there. You always have those in the draft. You just never know. Got to get in the mind of the coach to what they're thinking. Maybe they really like the roster. Maybe they just don't want to, take a break from playing in the power conferences and just take a step back. Could be a lot of different reasons. definitely would be interesting to get some insight from some of those coaches. And now, block one. We're going to talk some betting too, but block one, we got a couple of games that we wanted to spotlight, some in a little more detail than others, but we got some interesting games out there. So we'll start with the first one that we have. Week two, we have Troy at Utah State, two longtime vets in the league. You've got Oracle coaching Troy, and my screen just went blank. Utah State is Buckeye, so I can't pull up the tab to see how long they've been. I know Buckeyes have been at Utah State for a bit. I need to wait for the screen to pop back up. Regardless, I asked you guys, who do you have winning in the game and why? Oh, Doc.
I got,
I got.
I got. Well, you go ahead.
Go ahead, Vic.
I got Utah State. Buckeye knows that team inside and out. Troy is good, but I got Utah State in the upset.
I agree. I'm with Utah State again. I go with the guy, especially first game of the season when everybody gets new teams. I always go with the guy that has had the team for a minute and they understand it, and they are at Utah State. So this is Utah State's game to lose.
Yeah, I think with Troy, I think Oracle will have a solid season there, but I think that offense is going to take a little getting used to. I think for if they had played later in the season, I may feel more comfortable taking Troy, but with it being at the beginning of the season, I'm going to take Utah State, and I I need to see more of Troy to see if Oracle has a feel for what that offense is going to look like. But at this point in time, give me Utah State. He's only played one game with them, at least that we know of, a cup game against Indiana. And then obviously it's kind of hard to gauge what Troy looks like on the road against Pat and Indiana. So I will make it a clean sweep and go with Utah State. All right, next up, two teams that had really good seasons last season, but new coaches. You have the reigning MAC champs and Buffalo. Buffalo now coached by Chili Chill. And you have, man, this is really messing with me. Yeah, Middle Tennessee, who was the runner-up in Conference USA. And this season, they are coached by Coach Malone. So who do you guys have in this one? Buffalo is at home.
I
I
like
got the
Buffalo at
home
home.
team. Oh, go ahead.
I like Buffalo at home. I think their defense is good enough to handle Middle Tennessee State's offense. So I like Buffalo at home.
Too much Henderson, too much Victor Snow. Best first name in the game. Um, Too much of those guys. Home field advantage. Buffalo takes it.
I, man, I'm going to go the other way on this one. I'm going to go with Middle Tennessee. Henderson, I know, is going to probably have a really good game for Buffalo, but I think the X factor in this game is going to be for Middle Tennessee. If he gets going, he opens up a lot of doors for that offense. I think that he's the X factor in this game. I think he will have a good game, and that'll be enough for Middle Tennessee to pull off the road win. Week one matchup: James Madison at Kennesaw State. So Glizzy trying again to get that elusive Sun Belt title. He'll be looking to run another season with James Madison and see what success he can have. On the flip side, Kennesaw State is going to be coached by Adelopes. I already talked positively about him. Fun games to play against him. Uh, his offense can definitely be a handful, and he does a good job of mixing things up. He definitely will keep you off balance. Who do you guys have winning this game? Go to you first, Doc.
James Madison on the road. I like that game. I think this is going to be Glizzy's first game to get back on to the road of redemption for that elusive Sun Belt championship.
All right, Vic, who you got in this one?
I got James Madison to go along with my Sunbelt pick. I got James Madison.
Well, full disclosure, I'm pretty sure all of us, like we got Doc hooked up on NDL Sharp earlier today, and I'm sure he placed one of the first bets, the same one that we did. I put James Madison as a future to win the conference, and it starts with this game. I think that Lizzie is going to be on a heater this season, and I think game one they're going to be in mid-season form. I think they take this one by a couple of scores. Next up, we've got Louisiana Tech. Vic, I know you love that school. At Hawaii. So a cross-conference matchup in week one. Texas fan that, we talked about Hawaii falling down to pick number 40. So he begins his journey with them. The question is, will that offense be on fire out the gates or will it take some time? So, Doc, who you got winning this one?
Hawaii at home. I think his passing game is going to be way too much for Louisiana Tech.
Vic?
Shout out to Lee Corso. Not so fast, my friend. I got Louisiana Tech. Of course I do. I got Louisiana Tech pulling out the upset some way, somehow. The Bulldogs is going to get it done.
So, full disclosure for people that are new to the league, Vic, would you like to share why you're so excited to take Louisiana Tech?
That is my alma mater.
All right. Well, I would love to side with you, and I really would. I know you don't believe me, but I really would. Bearass is the coach at Louisiana Tech. Me and him used to play like every he used I would say before IROC, he was my out of season coach rival. We played every season. He's an Oklahoma fan, so there's a lot of Oklahoma, Nebraska, just a lot of random matchups after we got fired, bouncing around. Good guy, fun to play against, fun to be on the mic with too. Good stuff.
Man, you guys are lucky. You guys got to go to these Division One schools. I wasn't smart enough. I had to go to Divisions Two school.
My guess is you probably, when you saw that final bill when you were done, it probably didn't hurt as
I was super happy. Yes, I.
Yeah, I was just about to say.
I went to
Forever,
state school,
yeah,
but the
forever.
state school that I went to won multiple Division Two championships. So
Hey, winning is
shout out
winning.
to Indiana University of Pennsylvania.
Winning is winning.
That's
Um,
right.
I am gonna have to go with Hawaii in this one though. I think that Texas fan, Mr. Luis, is gonna have a fun season with them. And if I'm gonna be catching games in the Mountain West, for obvious reasons, I'll be watching Boise. I feel like, when you have those conversations in DMs, it helps. Like you can tell when someone watched the game or didn't watch because you say stuff like throw that feeler out there just to see how they respond. Oh, you didn't watch the game. Yeah, I'll wait until you watch the game to go to before we talk. But I'm gonna be catching a lot of Hawaii action. That offense is explosive, and I want to see how he does with a left-handed quarterback. Like I really didn't know that was a thing until you guys told me. So I'm really curious. I'm sure that Luis had to know that taking them, and he's had to practice with them. And I think that offense is going to be one of the best to watch in the G5, if not in the NDL.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward on week 8 to see it firsthand, but
I
I
will
have
just DM you. We won't make that we won't make that therapy session public. It'll be in private.
to.
All right, up next we got uh, man, stateception, Tim, stateception. Next up, we've got Tulane at Rutgers. So we have the first G5 versus Power 4 matchup that we're going to talk about here. So this is an interesting one because Rutgers has a lot of speed on offense. We saw that last season with MJ Kemp. And who is the coach now? Carone, who had Middle Tennessee, who was putting up, I think, in 5 games, scored 50 points last season. And now he gets an even better offense. On the other side, you have Sergeant Zoot, rough season with Michigan, but he is a huge upgrade at quarterback. Again, no offense to any Michigan fans out there, but the difference between Bryce and Jake passing the ball is going to be night and day. Tulane will be on the road in this one, though, so there will be some HFA to deal with. Who do you guys have winning this one? Come to you first, Doc.
I have Rutgers winning this one. I think the offense is going to be too much for Tulane's defense.
I'm going with Tulane. Sergeant Zoot is my dark horse in the American, and outside of MGR, the second dark horse in the entire G5 for me. So I'm going to go with Zoot. Salute to Zoot. And I'm going to go with Tulane.
I think this is an interesting game. When we were looking at the games, I got to play against Chrome, and I got to see Chrome a bit because he played in my conference last season, and he could put up points with the best of them. The problem was getting stops on the other side. And I know Rutgers is obviously going to be better defensively than you had at Middle Tennessee. But the question is it the talent of the team or is it the scheme of the coach? We don't have the answer to that. We'll find out as we move forward in this season. I think it's going to be closer than people would expect it to be, but I do think that Rutgers is going to pull it out. I'm not sure Tulane has enough talent on the defensive side of the ball. I love Westmoreland. We talked about him during the draft show,
Yeah.
but I just
Yeah.
feel that Rutgers is going to have a little bit more in their speed in comparisons to Tulane defensively. I think it's going to make things a little bit difficult for the Green Wave on the defensive side of the ball. And keeping with the theme, another G5 versus P14. We've got Florida International at Cal. So we kind of hinted about this a little earlier. MJ Kemp obviously taking over Florida International. He's got a P4 team on the road. And on the flip side, you've got Coach Chop. He had a great season with Western Michigan last season, went 9-3. And now he's making the jump from G5 to P4. Cal has a really nice offense. He will be at home. Who do you guys have in this one? Doc, coming to you first.
Uh, Man, this is a tough one because I can see Cal winning because this may be like a talent thing over like coach thing, but like does talent really beat the coach on this one? I'm going to say no, and I'm going to go with Florida International.
Vic?
I'm going to go with Florida International because that is a part of my pick right there. And I feel like first game with a team, it's first real serious game with the team. Some people do treat the Beefy Cup serious, some don't. So your first actual season game, block one, game one with the team, it's all about who can gain an advantage first with their new team. If you both have new teams, it's definitely all about who gains the advantage and about in the first quarter, midway through second quarter, you're gonna see that happen with FIU. I feel like MJ Kemp is gonna process his roster faster and he's gonna clutch out the win. It's gonna be like a 7 point victory.
I am going to make it a clean sweep. Cal is a very interesting team. So we got to watch Chop play a lot last season, being in the G5. And the thing that stood out to me the most is Chop reminds me of Bill Belichick in the sense of whatever we need to do to win this game is what we're going to do. You have some people in the league who are defense first. You have some people that are run first, pass first. If you're able to beat their strength, you're going to win because they don't have a backup plan to fall on. I feel with Chop, he is very fluid in how he plays the game. He is able to find the flow of the game, what's working in this game. Like, okay, passing the ball short isn't working, but the run is working. Cool. Run, play action, keep the running back in for, taking a shot down the field. Defensively, it seems like it's going to be a grind out game. So we're going to make adjustments. We're going to keep everything in front of us. We're just going to run the ball and play field position. There aren't a lot of coaches that I feel can really do that to a high level. And Chop showed in the G5 you can do that. Can you do that in the P4? We don't know. So I think this is a very interesting matchup in terms of coaches because Kemp is a guy that wants to put up points. Chop can put up points, but he can also play a defensive game too. So I think it's going to be determined how this game is played. I do think it's going to end up turning into a shootout, and I would favor Kemp in that. But I think the score is probably going to be a little bit closer than people expect it to be. I honestly, I know what the odds say, but I feel like a lot of people think that Kemp is going to run away with this game. I think that Chop is going to keep it close, and it's going to be sweaty in the fourth quarter. But I do think Kemp is going to pull it out. Next up, a fun game. Gotta love longtime vets playing against each other, right? You've got
Yep.
Wyoming. Sorry, doctors, cover yours for a sec. We've got Wyoming and Mark at Memphis and old
Coming
KY
for you, Mark.
Sharp. So these coaches have played each other 8 times over their NDL career, and they've played each other every season since we've been back. KY Shark won last season with Kentucky. That broke up a 5-game win streak by Mark. The series is 5-3 in favor of Mark and Wyoming. So Shark taking over Memphis, a really talented roster. Who do you guys have winning this one? Doc?
I have Memphis, and not for the reasons why, but I have Memphis because I just think Memphis is the better team, and I think that they will they will beat Wyoming, especially it being at Memphis. I think that might be just too much. So I like Memphis in this one.
Braden Lewis to CJ Smith be the difference on offense. The corners will be the difference on defense. Corners have speed compared to Wyoming's wide receivers and tight end. That tight end is amazing for Wyoming, but I have Memphis pulling it out.
Doc, please don't be mad at me. I'm going to go on the flip side on this one. I'm going to take Wyoming. And the difference
Good. I want them to
maker,
be undefeated when we play.
That is wild. That is so wild.
the
This is
the
this is
difference
wild.
in this game, I think it's going to be a close game, but those Portland players are going to be in the crowd supporting their coach. And that's going to help power Wyoming through. He's going to feed off of that energy. That energy is going to be fed to the players on the field. And Wyoming is going to get a non Hail Mary touchdown on their last drive to win the game.
Mm, mm. Go Pilots, by the way. Go
Yes, go
Pilots.
Pilots, man.
Go Pilots,
Yes.
man.
Go
Hope y'all
Pilots.
definitely hope y'all have a deep run in the conference tourney coming up. I definitely will be watching. Definitely have been watching this season. Go Pilots.
We can
I
all
think it's
agree on that.
fantastic that they beat
Loved
Gonzaga.
it. Loved
I,
they beat Gonzaga.
I love that to no end. It's just so a little story. My kid looked at Gonzaga to go to Gonzaga, and it was kind of cool to like see the gym and like just that small popular basketball school, right? And then just when you kind of see it, they have the bulldog outside and everything, and like how big that they've become. But then you get a team like Portland that comes in and just they win. You know, they beat a school that's known nationally, that's threw players in the NBA like crazy, and they come in and it's when you see schools like that beat like with heart, and you see the like even though Gonzaga is a small school, their setup is unbelievable. Like I mean, it has a big college feel there in their field house with their gym and all that other goofy stuff that they have. It's really cool. But to see a small school like that to come in and do it and to know somebody that was part of that is just fantastic. So shout out to you, Mark.
So y'all know what it was, right? He didn't say this on BBB last night, but y'all know what it was, right? It was Mark. He was the guiding light to that because he had the inspirational speech going, and he drew from the NDL bag. He drew from the NDL bag. Gonzaga, this good team, this good coach that's going to go to bigger pastures. They just using this year as a bounce back year, and they're gonna go to a bigger and better program and a bigger and better conference. And Mark said, we're going to give him this L and take that shit on the way out with him.
You know what he said? There was this time I was playing a game in the NDL. I was playing against a big school called Oregon State.
Oh, shit.
No time left in the game. I just chucked it up there. Guy comes down with the ball, takes it 40 yards into the end zone. I win the game. Now let's go take the ball, put it in the basket, and win the game. That's what his speech was. He
That
doesn't want to tell
was
you
that
anything.
was what his speech was.
It
That
really
was.
was. I mean, when you're pulling
And
from the NDL bag, that's what it has to be.
and then he was motivating throughout. He was like, we're gonna give him this L, and they can carry that shit to the Pac 8 on the way with them.
Yep.
You want to use our conference for a bigger job?
Yeah.
No, you're not going on day one in the draft now, buddy. You going day two.
Man, I just want to give you a hug, Doc, if I could. You are so. This man is hurting so bad.
That's game of the week. I don't care who's in the G5 that's playing. That's the game of the week.
You heard that, Tim. Make it happen.
Yeah, you heard it.
Um,
You heard it.
I will second though what Doc said about the campus. So my first year at state, they played Gonzaga on the road, and this was before we knew one what. This is before we knew anything about like what Kawhi Leonard really was, and then no, it's just a cool chance for us. Like, hey, it's a free trip. We're going up to Washington to go watch this game and go, hang out. So I'm like, hey, I'm down. Let's go. And we lost by 3. We as an SDSU, but it was a really fun game. And yeah, you would think like, man, it's a small school. Like they don't really
And
have
the
a
gym
whole
would be
lot else going on. But then
empty.
you look at that gym, it's like, holy crap, man.
Yeah.
I give you a small school that's like I'm gonna say 10, 12 minutes from my house. UTA Arlington. UT Arlington. I'm sorry. UT Arlington. Very small school. Definitely root for them as well. They are, I believe they're either in the WAC or one of these mid-major conferences. I have to check and see, but definitely rooting for them. Small arena. It's very small.
Well, last thing I'll say, what we really need? We need Portland to win the conference tournament and get
Oh
that
That,
man,
automatic
what?
that'd be
that
amazing.
automatic bid into March Madness. That's what we need.
Yeah.
Oh,
Holy crap.
I'm betting on Portland every day. They tournament start, I believe, Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. I'm betting them every day.
We'll be watching. We'll be watching. And then the last game that we wanted to focus on, one of the bigger games, especially. I think this was, to me, the most intriguing matchup that we have. This block is Central Michigan at Michigan State. So there's a lot of things going on with this game. One, a battle of Michigan, one of the big brothers against the little brother. Michigan State isn't the older brother, but they're older than Central Michigan, if you're following my analogy here. Chip looking for some revenge because he did play Metro D last season. Remember, him and Metro D played in the conference championship 2 seasons ago. Really good game. Central Michigan loses a heartbreaker. They run it back last season at Michigan State. Another close game, but the chips fall again. So now, same matchup, same place, just a different coach for Michigan State. You have Hughes, who had a really good season with Temple. The ebbs and flow, the ebb and flows of a season. You're able to knock off a top tier team in the conference in East Carolina. That loss could have cost them an opportunity to play in the CFP. But then also, you're trying to get to the conference championship game, and then you lose to North Texas. So no shot, at Drew whatsoever. But that's not what you're expecting to have happen from Temple's perspective after having a big win against East Carolina. So now you take that and you're going to go into the Big Ten. Michigan State is a talented roster, but they obviously aren't on the level of an Ohio State, Oregon, even a Michigan. So the question is, what will Hughes look like playing with the big boys? So who do you guys have winning this game? Doc, I'll start with you.
Oof. Man, why are you doing this to me? I'm gonna go. You know what? I'm gonna go with it, and I'm just gonna say Central Michigan getting the big upset. That's where I'm going.
I'm gonna go with Central Michigan as well. The chipstick is gonna be on full display. Don't think Hughes has ever seen the chipstick.
Uh,
The chipstick will be in full blown display. I believe they will play this game tomorrow. So it will be on full display. And Chips is going to win by a field goal.
this is an interesting game because Hughes, it's always interesting to see when a coach is successful in the G5, how does that look when they go up to the Power Four? Because you're probably not going to have a top team. You're going to be slotted somewhere in the middle. How does that, manifest on the field? The chipstick is definitely something to watch, and it sucks when you're on the other end of it. Vic, you may have saved me from it today. I'll have to see it probably tomorrow. Because since we started a little bit earlier, I couldn't play our cup game with me and Chip, so I have to wait until tomorrow. But it's man, nothing is like interceptions are demoralizing on offense because it depends on how it happens. Was it a bad read? Was it a bad like so many things happen on an interception that you really have to break down why was that a pick? Was it the read, the receiver, the throw? Did I miss something in a progression? Did I miss a blitz? Got hit as I threw. Like there's so many different things. Disguise coverage. I can go on and on. But a fumble, a forced fumble, a chipstick fumble, it's demoralizing because you're just either trying to avoid it altogether by getting down, which doesn't always work, as 6 feet was very open about off camera, or you try to run them over and you just get blasted anyway. I don't know if you guys remember a couple seasons ago, the big upset win for Central Michigan was against Michigan State, against a coach that I won't name because I don't want him to get mad at me, but he did have back to back fumbles inside the 5 yard line, chip sticks. And that was a huge difference maker in that game. So it's two parts in this one. Will there be forced fumbles? Can the Chippewas recover? And two, can they get their running game going? Now, Hughes likes to put up points. And when you're putting up points, that means you're probably passing the ball. Interceptions did them in against North Texas, but the lack of interceptions helped them against East Carolina. Not sure which versions of Hughes we get. I think, man, I'm a full believer in Chip this season. I think he's coming in and throwing it all out on the table, laying it out. We're gonna make it happen this season or bust. So he has to win this game. He knows that. I think he's gonna get the road win. I'm really excited to watch that game. Hopefully I won't hopefully I won't be at work. So like I've had bad luck with that in the last couple of blocks. Now we're gonna shift the focus a little bit to NDL Sharp. Andy has done an amazing job. I got to see some, behind the scenes as he was working on it. Very, very awesome as someone that likes to dabble in some betting. Yes, I do bet on table tennis elite. I'm not ashamed of that. Vic, I'm sorry to disappoint you. But NDL Sharp is going to be the NDL's official sports book going forward. And there are some picks that we wanted to talk about that we had that we felt confident in, and we've got a parlay that we put together as well. So, Vic, you're more of an expert in betting than I am. I'm gonna turn this over to you, sir.
You want me to say the parlay or?
We can go in order.
Oh, all right. Well, I have Central Michigan taking the points. The points is the spread is 7.5. As you just heard, I do have him winning by a field goal, so you can take the Central Michigan money line outright. But I do have Chip taking the points. It will be a close game no matter what. I don't see it being no more than 6 or 7 points, if not closer. And I do have that plus 7.5 for Central Michigan.
All right.
I got South. Um, I got. I just had it here, and I'd lose my head if it wasn't attached today. I got Virginia Tech minus 8.5 over James Madison.
Okay.
It's
Um,
my portion.
I think the safest bet, and I wanted to take the spread. And I'll be honest, I put in a bet for the spread. UTSA, like I think for me the best bet this week looking at the G5
Oh,
was taking UTSA money line over Southern Miss. I am comfortable taking the spread as well. I've actually double dipped, but I know if you could only do one and you were a little hesitant, 100%, 100% take UTSA money line. Believe in the cat man.
So wrong team. I had Oregon State plus 4.5 over Jacksonville State. Sorry about that. Virginia Tech was part of my own parlay. So once I learn how to read, I will be able to help you guys out a little better.
But you did share that with us in the pre-pod meeting, and I liked
Yeah.
it so much that we put it in the official Outliers parlay. You can bet the plus 4.5 for Oregon State
Yep.
uh, as well in this parlay, but we have Virginia Tech minus 8.5. We have Central Michigan plus 7.5, and we have UTSA money line. It is a plus 300 bet, so it'll definitely win you some money on that parlay.
Yep, that is our official parlay for this block. 100% for it, and I'm got my fingers crossed that these parlays will go better than my parlays IRL.
Yeah, I'm
Plus,
super excited about this portion of the NDL. Sorry, Vic. I'm
oh no,
super
you did.
I'm super excited for this. Like this will make the games a lot funner. This will make the NDL experience a lot funner. So shout out to Andy. Great job. Super glad you got this going.
And the odds are plus 345 to be exact.
Yeah, so some good money to win on that. Um, man, I was saying pre-pod, I cannot wait to do this while I'm at work, so people can look and see. Because especially during the NFL season, so I know that there's a good group of guys that play fantasy football, and I work in the mornings, if you guys didn't know. So during my lunch break or my last break, I'm trying to look through and see if there's any injury updates so I can set up potential parlays and then set up my lineups. And as a Buck fan, I tend to be in the know, obviously a bit more about that team. So, maybe some small individual bets, over under on yardage and stuff like that. I cannot wait to start doing this at work. And then people are like, oh, what are you betting on today? Like, oh, so, the college football league that I'm always talking about. So we have our own sports book now. So I'm placing bets in that. And I just can't wait to see the look on their face. It's going to be awesome.
They're gonna be dumbfounded. They're gonna be dumbfounded.
The fact that, listening to podcasts and watching shows was mind blowing to them. Once I tell them that, it's just going to, their brains may just stop functioning for a little bit. I look forward to the reaction. It's going to be great. And I didn't mention because I didn't even want to bring it up, but Tim brought it up and it made me think of something. Chip isn't just representing his university, his school, or trying to represent his state. Hughes is Canadian, and I'm a big hockey fan. I'm sure even if you're not, you're well aware that there was a gold medal game not too long ago between the US and Canada. Canada lost. So Chip was also representing the US. So like Chip, you gotta win. No pressure at all. USA. And then last thing we'll talk about here with bets, future bets. So for those of you that don't know, the bets that we were talking about before, so we had a best bet. So the one bet that we were 100% locked in on for block one, those were the individual ones. And you can put single bets together to make a parlay. And it's increased odds, but in order to win, every leg of the parlay has to hit. So for us, it's a 3 game parlay. All three outcomes have to happen in order to win the money. If you get one wrong, it's an L. But you have futures, which tend to last longer because they last over the course of the season. So for this, we all had a future best bet on what we were most confident in happening by the end of the season. Vic, what was your future best bet?
My future best bet is James Madison to win the Fun Belt.
Not gonna lie to you, that's the very first bet I made when this started. So I know MGR's like, hold on a second. Didn't you just pick me to play in a conference championship game? Yes, but I also did bet on James Madison to win. I'll put in that you could
Smart
have two
man,
bets.
smart man.
You could have two bets. I just need one of them to win. Doc, who do you have as your future best bet?
Uh, South Florida to win the American.
So trusting the kid in El Jefe. Gotcha.
Yeah.
And then mine was Central Michigan to win the MAC. That was the second bet that I placed because looking at the landscape, I have a lot of questions in the MAC, but the one I absolutely do not have is where Chip stands and what he's capable of doing. He has always consistently played well in conference play. There's no reason to doubt that he will this season. And like I said, the way last season ended, I just feel that he's got some extra motivation to get back up to the top of the MAC this season. All right. That was a little
My
bit
my
harder.
first
Oh, go ahead.
my first future my first future bet is a parlay bet that I'm not gonna say because I don't want them to have a target on their back. So yeah. It's two major conferences though. It's two Power Four conferences.
As long as it's no one that we play. Don't need don't need anyone pushing to beat me by more and then hold that against you. Like I will love it. Some I don't want to name any names, but I may or may not have played someone this season or last season and lost. And then someone and it was like in joking. So I didn't take it personal. We had a good laugh about it. It's like you can blame Vic for this since he picked against me. Like, oh wow.
That is
I was like, so
crazy.
that's when
See,
you know
that is
people are that's when you know
crazy.
people are listening. So I'm like, okay, gotta keep that in mind going forward.
That
So,
is wild. Not naming any teams right there.
yep. So the next segment, we're getting close to the end here. We're gonna name our preseason top five in the G5. So this is a little bit tough because obviously you got a lot of movement with coaches. You would like to see some action on the field to get a better feel for what you have. But Vic, I'll start with you first. Who do you have in your top five?
I have USF, FIU, Central Michigan, Western Kentucky, and UTSA.
Want to share any insight on how you came to that order?
Ooh.
Don't have to because it's just the preseason.
No,
But
I'll say best five situations. Those are the top five situations in the G5. If you get what I'm saying, like the coach slash team slash conference situation for all five of those coaches are favorable. So that was my logic going into that.
all right, let me ask you one question before we get to you, Doc. Vic,
Yep.
if we're that's your top five, who do you have as an honorable mention right now?
Boise.
Okay. All right, Doc. Same to you. Who is your top five?
I have South Florida, UTSA, Boise, FIU, and Central Michigan.
Yeah. Any insight you want to share on your top five?
I think I think they're the five. Like Boise's been there forever. Central Michigan's been there. And then the new schools with new coaches, the coaches put them there. So that's how I got to it.
Okay. And who would your honorable mention be?
Making it tough here. Um, oh, wow. I would have to say, um,
Why?
man, probably have to go with James Madison and Glizzosaurus. Like that's where my honorable mention would go.
Okay. My top five, unanimous across the board for all of us. We have USF at number one. I have Central Michigan at two, FIU at three, Boise at four, and UTSA at five. So for me, the three best coaches in the G5 are Mike El Jefe and MJ Kemp. So I agree with you, Doc. Their coach makes those teams in my top five. Central Michigan and Boise have had sustained success in the G5, so they are also in my top five. And then honorable mention is going to be MGR and Georgia Southern. Again, Nebraska fans, we take care of each other, so I've got him up there. Next up, coach shout outs for the week. Vic, who you shouting out?
I am shouting out. Oh, hold on. Oh yeah. All right. Hold on. Give me a second. All right. I am shouting out the cat man himself, Big Mike, longtime veteran of the league and lover of cats. Definitely a lover of cats and lover of NDL football. He's gonna have a great season. Revenge tour, comeback season, however you want to call it.
All right.
Shout out to him.
I must say, I'm really disappointed that he didn't pick a team that had a cat for a mascot, but he'll still have a successful season. All right, Mr. Doc, who you shouting out this week?
To the league's biggest sandbagger there is, my boy Luis at Hawaii. He's going to make some noise in the Mountain West Conference. If you talk to him, he's the worst player to ever play this game, and so he loses every game. So I just feel that he's going to make a lot of noise in the Mountain West, and excited to watch that team play a little bit.
Man, you are not lying about calling him the biggest sandbagger.
He's
If I could remember my password for my AIM account and pull up our conversation, he never deserved to win a game. Every
no,
time we played and
never.
he won, it was everything but him that won the game.
Yeah. You can go into the Mountain West right now, and everybody in there is like, "You're the biggest sandbagger ever. You're the biggest sandbagger ever." So it's kind of funny, but I mean his passing attack is just so vicious, and you give him good fast receivers and a quarterback that's accurate, and you're in for a long day.
Yeah, I've definitely experienced that over the years. So, kind of similar to your shout out, but on a brighter outreach. Shout out to the new members of the Mountain West Rehab Program. Again, it's like
Heck
it's
yeah.
just perfect. It goes from the commercial to the now you have these new coaches that join. So you've got Outlaw New Mexico, Inc. at Nevada, T-Fan at Hawaii, Priest Fresno, UDoc at Colorado State, and Razorback at Air Force. I hope that all of you vets out there find your new home, whether it be permanent or temporary, relaxing, fun, and exciting. And I'm hopeful that maybe some of those coaches, forgot Jokers at San Jose State. Don't want to forget that. Don't want to give him extra motivation. He already has enough as it is. Um, I'm excited to see how all these new coaches do in the Mountain West. And more importantly, as a San Diego State fan, I'm excited to see if any of those coaches decide to stick around and join the Pac 8 for those teams that will be splitting off and moving to that new conference. So I'm really excited to see that.
It's one of the reasons why I took Colorado State, because if I don't get the team that I want to get next year, I will go back to Colorado State. So
Yeah, it's well, at least you have a respectable team within the state borders. So of course, 100% respect what the Rams have going on, and hope you have a good season.
thanks. Just shooting for those 2 wins. Is the win goal 2? Like, do you have to have 2 wins? Because my win goal says 1.
Has to be two. No
So
matter
it's 2.
what, it's
What?
always
It's
a
2.
minimum of two. Can't be less than two. Can't be more than 10.
Got it.
Now, Doc, sticking with you here, I know that we don't necessarily have, we don't have any stats in the G5 just yet. That'll be, within 24 hours, I'm sure. But you are the award watch guy
Yeah.
in the mid-major land. So what do you got going
Yep.
on
So
this
the
season?
Marshall Falk Award went to Rayshawn Luke last season. Can he repeat? So I'll ask you guys a question. Who do you see being the Marshall Falk Award winner this season?
Ooh,
Oh, oh, that's a tough one.
you might make me boot up the game here. I'm glad
I'm
it's
gonna go
close
with
by.
I'm gonna go with Byron Brown out of USF.
All right.
Give me a second. I have to pull up the roster because I need to see
Yeah.
the name. I know who I'm thinking of, but I need to see the name so I can't get it wrong. Oh man. I want to say it's Owens, but because I'm gonna say it without looking, I'd probably be wrong. So that's why I just want to clarify. I don't know if you may know Vic offhand, the starting running back for Florida International.
Oh,
I don't know
I want
why
to
I'm
say
thinking it's Owens.
I want to say last name is Owens.
And of course the website's taking its time to load. No, like I'm not even gonna be mad at it, but it's like, oh man, I need verification. It's like, I could have probably pulled it up on the SBS.
Kayjon Owens.
Yeah. Assuming
Yeah, there
that
we go.
he doesn't, fail any test and, you know, do anything shady to, inflate his scores, I think that Owens will be one of the best players in the G5 this season. And Florida International is going to have a good season. I think the he's going to be the first point in that. So I think that he's going to be the guy.
I mean, he's going to be hard. Like, he's an 83 overall with 93 acceleration, 89 agility, and 85 juke. in the Conference USA, that's going to be at least that's what they're telling me on the Google machine here. But that's pretty good for being down there.
Yeah, I got to play against him last season. He's going to be a headache, and he's in the hands of someone who is really good on offense. I expect him to have a great season.
I'm going to go with the tight end out of Wyoming.
Full
That
circle. Full
yeah,
circle.
you
Love
know,
it. I love it.
I have to. Like he catches everything and literally everything. But he had 110 catches last year for 1,000 yards, like 1,200 yards. Like if and I know he's the focal point of Mark's offense. But even though you know that, trying to stop that is another story. So I'm gonna go with him.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to watch that race develop and see who ends up taking the lead. When we get to the midway point of the season and how they finish in the second half.
For sure.
All right, Mr. Vic, you got a fact for us this week.
I do. I do got a fact for us this week. We always talk about winning and, winning streaks and stuff like that. That's all fine and dandy. But we're gonna get to the shits. And the ball no fact of the week. I have a question for you guys. What school do you think in the FBS has the longest losing streak of all time?
Colorado.
Now you're an asshole. Give me the right answer. Give me the right answer.
Wait, it's really not CU. That's unfortunate.
No, they're nowhere near it. They're nowhere near it.
Darn, I thought that was a good guess.
It was not.
Oh, let me be honest here. Let me think. The longest losing streak.
The longest losing streak of all time in the FBS. What school do you think has that distinction? It is not that six. It is not that team. They're nowhere near it.
That is a
Doc, you got a guess?
FCS.
No, this is FBS, not
Oh, I thought you
FCS.
said
And
okay. Sorry.
no,
I thought you said.
FBS. FBS.
Oh man.
Football Bowl subdivision.
Florida Atlantic.
No.
I have no confidence in any school that comes out my mouth right now.
Think of a traditional loser. I'll say it like that.
It's
That's why I
let me
said
ask you something.
Colorado.
God damn it, stop being an asshole.
Is it it's a
I
is it a
personally
Big Ten school but before the new conference?
That's giving a lot out right there. I just said think traditional loser. See if I say conference, that'll
Well, I'm gonna say Purdue. Because I think it was in the Big Ten before they switched over to the Big 75.
Sammy, what do you have?
I don't
It
know.
I'm telling you, it's a Big Ten school. I know that.
Like it
I
had
just
like
don't know which one it is.
I feel like it has to be a team that sucks in conference. Like they have to suck.
It's a team that traditionally loses, yes.
But I don't know. I honestly don't. Like I guess
I
my
don't
my other guess would be
not
Syracuse, and
Illinois
I don't
because
even
they
feel
had
confident.
Okay, so you said Syracuse and um Doc said Purdue.
Wait, let
I'm
me think. Let me think. Don't do anything. So I know it's the Big Ten. So if it's so Purdue's been sucked
He
forever.
really tried to get this one. You
I
know,
am because I know it's the Big Ten. I can tell by your answer saying that's giving away too much. So I know Purdue sucked forever, but I don't think they have a losing streak. Illinois has won a couple of games, so it's not them. Who else sucks? Help me out, guys. Who else sucks in the Big Ten? No, Michigan State has won some.
I could give you the top five without revealing number one first.
Okay.
Number five, tied for fifth actually, and tied for second and tied for third. My bad. Tied for third and tied for second. Eastern Michigan and New Mexico State are tied for third at 27 games.
Yeah.
Northwestern.
That was loud.
Sorry,
Um,
sorry. It came
that,
over my.
that was. I'm so glad I didn't have my AirPods in on that one.
Sorry about that.
Yep, yep. Caused a lot of confusion there. Um, Tied for second is Kansas State and a team you wouldn't think would be on here.
Really? Kansas
Virginia.
State?
Virginia?
Virginia and Kansas State are tied for
Wow.
second with 28 games.
Wow. Hmm,
Kansas State, you can see, because before Bill Snyder, it was garbage juice.
that's fair.
Um, but Virginia, that one shocked me. I'm not gonna lie.
Hmm.
And the winner is drum roll. Boop, 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 boop. All right, Doc, you are right. It is Northwestern.
I knew it was a Big Ten team, but I couldn't think of any other Big Ten teams that were horrible.
Northwestern lost 34 games in a row.
In the 90s?
Yeah, I bet you.
No, hell no, not in the 90s. Between they was good in the 90s. What are we talking about?
Not in the
Um,
early 90s.
you mid 90s. We got to count the whole 90s now. We just not we not count one section. We got to count the whole decade.
I mean,
Um,
I
they lost
guess.
30. They lost 34 games in a row between September 22nd, 1979
Oh.
and September 25th, 1982.
Well, that's close to the 90s.
See, this is one time that I can tell El Jefe, like, I know how you feel now. I'm like, say those years again, Vic?
September 22nd, 1979 and September 25th, 1982. That was the last that was the losing streak right there. That was the dates when it started and when it ended.
See, this is my El Jefe moment of the NDL. I'm like, man, I wasn't even born yet. I wasn't even thought of yet. I have no idea.
I wasn't even a twinkle in my daddy's, you know
Man, I was
what?
in grade school.
I was not even thought about at all. My mama was
79? I
living
was
her
8.
life. My mom was living her best life in these years because I was not thought of at all. The only one I lived through is New Mexico State, and that was the beginning of my life. That one's between 1988 and 1990.
Man, that has to suck as a fan. Huh, I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Northwestern was terrible. Northwestern was terrible.
Who did they
Do
lose
you know?
to?
Do you? They lost to everybody.
No, I mean, but
Shit.
who? I mean, sorry, I said that. I didn't say that right. Who did they beat
Who
to end the streak? That's what I meant.
they beat Northern Illinois 31-6 to beat the streak.
Man, I was hoping it was a Big Ten
They did
team.
not. They did not win a single game. If you caught the dates, they did not win a single game for 3 consecutive seasons.
Yeah, that's rough.
So what was their record after they won that season? They won that game. What was their record?
Probably 1-11 or 1-10 because there was 11 games back then. Probably 1-10.
Wow.
Man, I mean,
So Do you know? So we have an active streak going on right now. Can you guess the school that has the active streak going right now?
No.
They are a team that always get picked near last in every draft.
A Mac team?
They're a team that always get picked last or near last in every draft.
Man, I I don't have a guess.
No
Doc, do
idea.
you gotta get
No.
UMass?
Oh,
UMass has 16
man.
losses in a row.
Oh,
They are catching up fast to Eastern Michigan and New Mexico State to be third on the list. And the team that holds the record overall, they are a team in FCS that would be Prairie View A&M. They lost 80 games in a row. That is fucking incredible.
Ooh,
man.
80 games in a row. They lost every game they played between 1989. I got to see the date on that. Um, and 1998. Let me. No, I don't want to subscribe to that shit. Um, I'm sorry. Nah, they don't got the dates on here, but yeah, they lost 80 games in a row between 1989 and 1998.
uh, uh,
That's a long time.
that's brutal. Yeah, I got nothing for that. uh, well, the good thing is that we don't have we don't have those kind of losing streaks in the NDL. All you gotta do is get one, maybe two, because being a part of that would, man, that has to hurt. No matter how much you try to convince yourself it doesn't, it has to hurt. Well, I think this is a good point to call it here. Went over a lot of information. Looking forward to seeing how things break out in the G5 this season. Game day will be live tomorrow morning. I think I get off work just in time to be able to sneak home and fix me some nice breakfast and watch. And then after that, the blocks will open. So look forward to game day in the morning. It's been good hanging out with you guys. We'll see you next episode next week. Take care. Good luck to everyone this season, unless uh, you coach Colorado and apparently Wyoming, from what we've heard today from Doc.
Yep, exactly. Go down, Wyoming. Everybody have a good season.